The College Baseball Experience, College World Previews and Picks episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, you can win up to 325 times your entry with their new Pick 8. Yes, sign up today. The promo code TCESGPN to claim your special pick plus first time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. That's UnderdogFantasy.com. Promo code TCESGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get the best data-driven props and picks from Rhythm. Claim your free 7-day trial period today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's RITHMM. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride.
This is Jim Mora, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Experience, College World Series previews and picks. Give him the heater, Ricky. Yes, let's go. Glad this has been just fucking just incredible. Every day I just get to tune in. I love the Monday games they've been throwing on. Unfortunately, we didn't have enough of those yesterday. Today's Tuesday. I just got to double check. I have a young one, and all the days are I'm living in Groundhog Day, but with awesome baseball going on. What's not to like about that? Look, if you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, that's fair because Noah Bieniek's been holding it the fuck down, and I get the guest host here in a way. My name is Colby Swinging Dant, Dan, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping. Would have killed a normal man, but no, that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
I pretended a lot of things didn't happen, but I'm excited for East Carolina baseball.
And you know what? I'm jacked about another opportunity. I'm like, let's go. Now, I met with the team. There is no team.
Now, I looked at the bracket. There is no ECU.
And they're all transferring out, dude.
Yeah.
It's an exodus out of Greenville.
Okay, get
South
the
Carolina.
fuck out. We're still 2-0 against the Pussy Pack. Bring it on! Bring it on! Let's go!
North Carolina.
Pussy Pack nonsense out of here. NC Nick tweeting at the Pussy Pack. Ever since I said that, they've been dominant.
Yeah, they have.
We'll see. We'll see about that. I am joined by, the heart and soul of the college baseball experience. He's always serving high heat. Me, I'm just a fucking idiot. Give it up for host of the college baseball experience, sometimes host of the college basketball experience, just the man, the myth, the legend, Noah Bieniek. How you doing, brother?
What's going on, guys? Yeah, personally, I haven't had the greatest tournament betting wise daily, but I appreciate everybody tuning in to this show, and I appreciate you guys for jumping on for the College World Series preview because I know you've been tuned into the games, and I just wanted to say, sometimes it's the hottest teams that end up winning this whole damn thing, and sometimes if you're following the sport the entire year and you've created an opinion on a team throughout the 4 or 5 months of the season, it's by the wayside when it comes to this time of the year. So I appreciate you guys joining me, and it should be a ton of fun.
Yeah, definitely. And also third man in the booth, the host of the Big 12 College Experience, the host of the College Basketball Experience, been holding it down over there. And guess what? He's freshly back from Cancun, Mexico, and he's married. Give it up for Moneyline Mac, a.k.a. Ryan McIntyre. But look,
Mimosa Mac.
yeah. I mean, you're married. Please tell me about life right now. How's it? Now you definitely have to take out the garbage on Tuesday nights. You gotta you gotta limit your cocktails on college basketball experience episodes this fall. Now you're married. How is it, buddy? How was the wedding?
Yeah, it was great. It was great. I've downgraded from a 12-pack a night to a 6-pack a night. So starting slow, getting off to a good start in this marriage. But yeah, no, Cancun was great. Enjoyed listening to Noah on the beach. I was thinking about Noah having a couple vodkas, having a couple cervezas as you were breaking it down. And I'm glad to see the ACC and NC State is fucking up another sport because that's what they've done all year long. So good to see them in baseball fucking everybody's bracket up.
Yeah, I mean, Georgia Bulldogs, after that turnout too, you bastards. It's been a fun. I mean, dude, this my brother NC Nick's been getting into it this year. He's been hitting me up, and the sport's growing. And these games have been awesome. I mean, the Oregon Texas A&M game. Oh my God. I mean, like, I didn't really have a dog in the race, so I didn't really care. I didn't bet on that game, but
if you were just rooting for some West Coast representation, oh my, I feel bad for you.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if I had to lean one way, I guess I would have taken Oregon, but I mean, to me, it's just that I think of the misery of the fan base. Like, you had a 3-run lead and just walked every damn batter on A&M. These games have been just insane. Once again, I'm glad to see that it's becoming more and more popular. And with
it's
that,
tough to pitch in a blizzard of bubbles. I will say that.
Yeah. And just a crazy fucking this tournament is the most underrated thing in American sports, in my opinion.
100%.
Yeah. And yeah, I just can't wait to see more of it. So, any other takeaways? I mean, obviously
what do you guys think of the field, the SEC versus the ACC Invitational, right?
Yeah.
I wish we would have had a little more diversity. I would have liked to see, obviously my Pirates, who, future ACC team. Yeah, I mean, I always root for Oregon State. I know Kentucky. It's a cool story with Kentucky. They've never been this far, and their fan base is always great. So they deserve good things. But Oregon State gets fucked so much, and then to have it the way they lost too was just
the pitcher forgets to cover home plate.
He needs to be investigated. He needs to be fucking investigated, dude. How the fuck does that happen? Too many mushrooms the night before. But yeah, I don't know, Mac. I mean, obviously your West Virginia Mountaineers had a great season. That game, specifically, I thought the game 1 in Chapel Hill was, oh my God, they had it. It was almost like the Oregon situation. Yes. Shout out to the chat, folks. You can watch this youtube.com/the college experience. Holy shit. It's Jason Bourne. Okay. I'll take that. Jason Bourne, a little Matt Damon
saying the triumvirate of Dundee, 77 and Moneyline Mac.
Yes.
Let's go. Let's go, baby.
Which Bourne movie though? I thought the second one I think was the best, right?
How many are there? 4?
I don't know. They added some late ones there.
Yeah.
They added some late ones that they had one where they didn't have Matt Damon in the fucking thing. You know what I mean? Like it was like, oh, he was part of Bourne's group. But it's Hollywood. They're gonna fucking try to ruin everything. There's like 20 fucking police academies. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna figure a way to ruin it. But what's not gonna get ruined is college baseball. Knock on wood. But Bieniek, how would you compare this to last year's or perhaps the years prior tournament thus far?
Well, I would say this far, going into the College World Series, last year's tournament featured a lot more MLB draft prospects kind of at the top of where you would be seeing a lot of the guys go in the first round. This year doesn't really have that, but I do think some of the best teams from the entire season long are in Omaha. And that's what I always kind of root for here. Because in my opinion, I still think our sport is growing, and I still want it to grow even further. And the best way to do that is to have the best teams play in Omaha every single year. I always kind of want to root for the Cinderella, but at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world for me if they don't get here, because now we just got 8 incredible teams that I think all have a chance to win the whole damn thing. And every year I say this too, if you are able to get to Omaha, you're able to win the national championship. You go through regionals, which is the same 4-team double elimination pool play format like you're going to see in the beginning of the College World Series. Then you go through super regionals, which is your national championship series finals in Omaha. So the format, all 8 of these teams have advanced through it once. They can do it again. We've got 7 top 16 seeds. 6 of the teams hosted super regionals that got through. The 2 teams that won road super regionals were NC State winning at Georgia, and Florida, who's a 3 seed, wins at Clemson. And I think those 2 teams going into road environments and winning, they have a leg up. They're battle tested. Also, Florida came out of the losers bracket in their regional. So they've fallen down before and been able to get back up and come out of the double elimination pool. So I think it's really interesting, and you could make a case for all 8 teams winning. I really believe that this year.
Ease his pain.
Now, I will say, Noah did sing this tune in the NCAA tournament, and we got UConn Purdue, and I fucking fell asleep in the second half. That game was so fucking boring. So,
and look, I don't know if you've been following the Sports Gambling Podcast. You know, we're covering the PLL lacrosse, and it's funny. I was talking to a few lacrosse guys recently, and they were talking about how the problem is the Sports 2 regional. They're like, you know, it's the whole Northeast. That and that's the question I would playing devil's advocate. I mean, to me, I'm going to watch any. It doesn't matter the teams. I'm going to watch every game that I can. But playing devil's advocate here, is it bad that they're all teams
from the Southeast?
From the Southeast, you know what I mean? Like, it seems like a lacrosse problem in baseball going on potentially here. I know Bieniek saying the best teams are in, but to me, if you're trying to hit nationally, which, you know, the college basketball tournament does so well, you know, I don't know that the people in you know, San Diego, California, or the people in you know, Houston. Well, Houston actually is Texas A&M,
I would argue,
know what I mean? Yeah,
like in counterpoint, I would argue that the West had a really good shot to buck the narrative. Arizona hosted, Oregon State hosted, UC Santa Barbara hosted. You got Oregon and Oregon State into the super regionals. Like, they had solid chances to get into Omaha this year, and it just wasn't able to come to realization. But like,
you remember a couple of years ago we had like a chalky NCAA tournament, like a super chalky NCAA tournament.
Yeah,
like the people were complaining. Yeah, people were complaining. It's like, I just don't really give a fuck. Now, sure, it's nice to have a Cinderella, but if they earn it, don't just put like a shitty
correct.
team.
It's not like, it's not like the college football invitational when there's only 4 teams getting in. Like, there's an entire field of 64. They all played the same kind of format. You could say that like the SEC had some easier draws in the NCAA tournament, but they got 11 teams in. The 11th team in is now in Omaha.
Wait, they got 11 out of 14 teams in. That is a problem.
And the 11th team
just
of
put,
their
what's the point of the regular season?
Florida is in the College World Series.
Just put the whole conference in. Just, I don't know.
I don't know.
It's only going to help Sankey's argument of expansion here.
And that's what I was saying is bullshit, because he used the Ole Miss example from 2 years
that
ago
bothered
for college
the fuck
basketball.
out of me, man.
Baseball and
sports. What an asshole.
Baseball is a completely different sport when it comes to the postseason than basketball and football. So, yeah, I just don't believe in that kind of example, comparing the two sports, especially when it comes to baseball. You could compare basketball and football a little bit more, in my opinion, because, you know, I would like to see a bigger field in the football tournament.
I'll tell you this, though, man. In the 12-team playoff, as I'm getting, and by the way, subscribe to the College Football Experience and the Big 12 College Experience. I know Max talk of college football too.
Oh yeah.
You know, break it down. We're doing a solo podcast for all 134 FBS teams. 1 hour, the same. You know, we give Utah State the same amount of time the Georgia Bulldogs. So check out the College Football Experience. But one thing, and I don't want to go off on a tangent here, but it's going to be. This is going to be the most interesting college football year I can ever recall because of the stakes within 12 teams. So if they do expand the college baseball tournament, maybe it'll be more interesting, and we just don't know. See, I didn't talk about it too much, Noah. Let's jump into these games. Cause I could do 3 hours. I could do a hot 3 hours right now. Let's go.
Real quick. I just want to speak on kind of go back to our original point of how college baseball has grown. And for West Virginia, college baseball, we barely even had a program 10 years ago. And I know we almost beat Carolina, and it was great. But just to
You
be
had an
able to
outstanding showing in Chapel Hill too.
Oh, dude, as right there, one run in each game against arguably the best team in the country.
I was talking about fans in the
37-3 at
stadium
home.
too.
Yeah, I know, and it's kind of grown our fan base. Those tickets were going for $300-$400. Oregon State. That's why I kind of wanted West Virginia and Oregon State to like spread a little bit in there with all these Southeast teams. But the Southeast teams will always have an advantage because of the weather year round. But just the growth of this sport. I mean, this sport is getting better and better, and I am so glad that it's finally getting some recognition because it is by far the most underrated sport and by far the most underrated postseason.
Yeah, and that's what I wonder long term is like I think we're seeing in football, and I know we've been seeing it in basketball, even though we have a back-to-back national champ, is that the parity is there. The more you do NIL, before you had all these fucking shoe contracts affiliated with the university, and it really diluted to me the sport for about 40 years. Even though I loved college hoops, it was still like, well, you can only have these 10 teams because they're going to go to one of these schools that are going to give them $300,000. So to me, I wonder long term if baseball can continue to make more and more revenue, then it will bring in more and more situations like West Virginia, where they'll focus some attention where they weren't giving it before. They might now because they see the potential of it. And that's what that's what I'm hoping for is like the more the ratings go, the higher they get, that the more teams are interested in doing this, the more universities, want to start their baseball programs or throw money into their already existing baseball programs. And long-term we can have something that's just way, way better than the MLB. Because let's be honest, pro sports are all dead. You know what I mean? Can I say that on the show? But
I was going to say though, Colby, because the MLB has done a shit job of marketing their sport.
They're horrible.
It feels like college baseball's got a great chance, whether it's more standalone games in the afternoon with gambling going up and up and these fan bases. Like I see a great opportunity for college baseball to continue to grow. Don't tell the
NCAA that gambling is growing college baseball though, because they turned down the biggest gambling content creator there was that applied for media credentials. I just don't get it. ESPN Bet exists. I was on their app, tuning in to watch some games this weekend, and ESPN Bet has live odds right under where you're watching on ESPN's app.
Hold on. Well, why we're on it? Hey, fuck you, NCAA. Not only because you blocked Noah Bieniek. What the hell? To quote Brian Bosworth in the '80s when he said, he called it the National Communist Association. And he's accurate. Again, it still holds up to this day because we saw Eric Bakich get kicked out of a game. They couldn't even interview him after the fucking game. What happened to free speech?
They
fucking
banned him from when you get ejected,
that is bullshit.
Banned from the post.
That is absolute bullshit. You need to have a checks and balances system because if he calls out the refs, which he should in that situation, then that puts heat on the refs. That's your checks and balances. God damn it. I thought we're in America. Fuck you, NCAA. I can't wait till you're dead. I cannot wait. I'm going to have a fucking barbecue. Everyone's invited. We're going to burn NCAA. I'm going to print out all their bullshit policies. We're going to burn them at a barbecue. It's going to be fantastic. But what a joke. What a fucking joke. Terrible. Can't speak on this. Fuck you. If I were him, I would have done a fucking iPhone video. Put that shit out. Like what a fucking joke. Yeah, what a fucking joke. They should be ashamed of themselves, and I hope they burn in hell. All right,
the other thing is like the kids shouldn't have to do it without the coach. Like the players shouldn't have to do it without the coach. Yeah, I think that's BS.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. I hate the NCAA. Everyone, please. And then they're denying you. All right, you didn't even tell me that ammunition. You know what I mean? I'll fucking write them.
I thought it trickled down because the higher ups knew. I apologize. I should.
Well, I don't go to the office much. I'm just. I sleep like 3 hours a day. Just fucking took out a bunch of diapers. You know what I mean? I saw ECU's season somewhere in there. But folks, look, we're gonna get into it. But before we do that. I want to tell you that you are listening to the College Baseball Experience, part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, and make sure to check out our new daily podcast dedicated to giving out underdogs nonstop. It's called The Daily Dog. All right, hop on over and check out The Daily Dog. It's a new 10-minute episode every single day of the week, Monday through Friday. Basically giving you the dogs you should be betting on. So check out The Daily Dog wherever you get your podcasts. Also, the Circa announced they're giving away $16 million in guaranteed prizes for Circa Survivor and Circa Millions. Sign up in Vegas. My guy CJ Sullivan, the bet detective, he just drove out. He did a fucking 10-hour drive. He drove there, documented the whole thing. I think it's coming out soon. And then drove back. So placed some wagers and then drove back to LA all within a day, which I know mileage wise, you're like, oh, that's not that bad. Trust me.
He texted me asking for a long shot to place. So that's why, I guess.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, but in LA, dude, I'm 20 miles away from the studio. It takes me an hour and a half. So I mean, like, you look at the mileage, say LA to Vegas is not bad. That's like fucking 40 hours in a car. All right. What are you doing, folks, though? Sign up in Vegas and play from anywhere with footballcontestproxy.com, promo code SGP to get $50 off. Once again, that's footballcontestproxy.com, promo code SGP. All right. We are back and ready to tackle these games. And yeah, I'm super excited for this one. First game on the slate. Do you want to say anything else before I dive into these games? Bieniek?
No, let's jump right in.
The oldest rivalry in the South when it comes to college football. I know, not the deep South, the South. UVA. Private school the private school pussies, the wannabe private school pussies, got in, and they're taking on the North Carolina Tar Heels. I love this game because these are rivals in football and basketball. They're just school rivals, in my opinion. I remember the great Ronald Curry, who was committed to Virginia, and everything was going, and he shows up and he rips off his shirt. He's got North Carolina. So this one is, I'll be honest, this is the game I want to see most. This is the matchup I want to see most. The current, and by the way, if you're searching for these, the odds, I found them on FanDuel. I'm sure there's maybe a few other places. I don't see them out on DK right now, but the Wahoos of Virginia are plus 128 on the money line. North Carolina's minus 164. I mean, I think West Virginia pushed Carolina to the brink. I think they're a little exhausted. Give me these Wahoos as a little live dog to start things off. Let's go. Bieniek, am I crazy?
No, I don't think you're crazy. That's one way to view it. The other way to view it is that North Carolina can say that they're battle tested. I mean, they lost a game to LSU in a really, really good regional. They called it the Chapel Thrill Regional, and also Chapel Thrill delivered when North Carolina and West Virginia played. They've played 6 games that have had important outs in the 9th inning. You can't ask for anything better. That bullpen has really stood up really well in those leverage moments. And I really like, they have the Pence, they have Mateus, they have Poston. Those 3, and there's a couple others that have come out of there, have been very, very solid for North Carolina. Projected pitchers in this matchup, Evan Blanco for Virginia is definitely the better guy of the two. North Carolina is either going to throw either freshman Jason DeCaro or junior Shea Sprague, the transfer from College of Charleston. But Blanco is the true ace here. 2.32 ERA in his last 5 games. Over the season, it's a 3.80 ERA in 90 innings with 3.23 Sierra, 9.5 strikeouts per 9 innings, 2.5 walks per 9 innings. And either Shea Sprague or Jason DeCaro, they're going to give you 5 or 6 innings, and then they're just going to turn it over to the North Carolina bullpen that's very good. Virginia's offense should be able to put up some runs early. I'm not going to say a ton. I would say like 3 to 4 runs early in the first couple of innings. So like if we see first 5 markets, Virginia's live there, but also the bullpen of Virginia hasn't been very great this season, and they haven't really been tested. You look at Virginia's regional, they swept it. They went 3 games. They won 2 games.
I thought it was about the team that's hot.
It is, and I would say North Carolina's hot too. So Virginia, they win 2 games over Mississippi State. They win another close game against Penn, and the Super Regional, they sweep Kansas State in the 2 games. They really were not dragged into the deep water like I think they could in this College World Series. If they jump into the losers bracket, I don't think they've got the pitching to get out of there, where I think North Carolina does. In this game, if North Carolina's offense is able to get to Blanco early and get him out of this game, I think the pen's vulnerable for Virginia. I like North Carolina in this one. This is minus 164. Personally, I don't think I'm going to lock it, but I like the Tar Heels to win this game.
Now, let me tell you something. I know, Mac, I want your answer, but I guess you don't remember the weekend of April 4th, April 5th, and April 6th, do you, buddy? Because Virginia won 2 of 3 against these Tar Heels, all right, showing them that they're the better team, and they're going to do it again against these bastards. Mac, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I had that circled that they played. I'm surprised that they didn't meet up in the ACC tournament. This matchup sucks. It should be West Virginia, K-State, but unfortunately I have to pick Virginia and Carolina. I think it's going to be a great game, but I'm going to go with the experienced manager here. Brian O'Connor's has been in Virginia, I feel like, forever. I remember him winning the College World Series with my Little League teammate, Kenny Towns. And they've been back-to-back years, and just the experience. Now on the other side, you got Scott Forbes. He runs a good program the last 4 or 5 years, but it's his first time in Omaha. I know he's been to Omaha as an assistant, but now he's running the program. I'll take Virginia because they've seen this bullpen in these arms to pull the upset here to start Omaha. So yeah, give me the private school pussies plus 125. You said
128.
Yeah, 128.
That's a great point too by Mac. College World Series experience is really important. And Virginia has not only been there back-to-back years, but 3 of the last 4. So the freshmen that are now become seniors, this is their 3rd time doing this go-around. But Colby, I mean, you always kind of say when you hit the road in college sports, you lose. Virginia was the home team in that series against North Carolina. So North Carolina won one of those games. I think they even out the season series today or on Friday.
I just think those WVU games are fucking insane. I think you're exhausted after that. You're just like, oh my God. And to
fucking
me, I think
that
helps. That helps.
He's living in the nightmares.
and shout out to Titsworth, by the way, on Clemson, my favorite college baseball player. Make sure you buy his jersey in this NIL day and age. Maybe he gets a few bucks. One thing I will say though is I was recently doing a deep dive on North Carolina, and I think sometime in the 1960s they played a football game and won, but they used a 30-year-old player that was not enrolled in the university. They ran him out on the. And I'm like, you motherfuckers! They've been cheating for a long time down there in Chapel Hill. All right. Don't get me started on those essays about Rosa Parks fucking from 15 years ago during the Roy Williams, days. Let's go Wahoos. All right. Light those tiki torches. Let's go. All right. Next up, we're jumping over to the likes of, so we got Saudi Arabia State taking on the Tennessee Volunteers. Saudi Arabia State's plus 186 on the money line. Tennessee's minus 245. In case you were wondering, Saudi Arabia State, that is Florida State. This matchup going to be super exciting, but Saudi Arabia State, all of a sudden, they were broke a couple years ago. They got a bunch of money that we don't know where it came from. And all of a sudden their athletic departments are just, hitting on all cylinders with the exception of basketball. So Saudi Arabia State, does the money bring them home? No. You know, Noah, that I have been repping these Tennessee Volunteers with their big dick energy, their Ric Flair shit, from years ago. They need to bring that mink fur coat back. All right. I'm on the Vols against Saudi Arabia State. Let's get it done here, Vols. Am I crazy, Bieniek?
I don't think you're crazy necessarily, but I would not touch this price. I'm going to lock up Florida State just because I see there's plenty of value here with Florida State.
Never heard of Florida State. Saudi Arabia State.
And I think on other places, when this thing opens up, you're going to see Tennessee at a much shorter price. I really do think so. I don't think Tennessee at minus 245 makes any sense at all. I would see this game at like a minus 160. Here's why. Jamie Arnold, the starting pitcher for Florida State, I'm assuming he's going to get the ball here. He is the best pitcher in this tournament left in the College World Series. You look at everybody else, they've all kind of been eliminated. Your Chase Burns of the world, your Hagen Smith, Trey Savage, they're all gone. Hey, meet Jamie Arnold, who's going to be back in college baseball next season too. 95 innings on the year. He's got a 246 ERA. He's striking out just under 14 batters per 9 innings. With a 174 CR. He's basically been untouchable. And Tennessee doesn't have that ace. They don't. On game ones, they've trotted out this duo, kind of like the Tampa Bay Rays have made famous, where they have an opener and Chris Stamos. He'll go one time through the order and they hand it off to AJ Causey. Stamos is a high slot left-handed pitcher, and then Causey's a sidewind and right-handed pitcher. It's really tough to arm angles, but Causey's going to give you the length. Stamos early is due for a run or two. He has been recently, at least. But Causey's been wicked. I think this is definitely going to be a low-scoring game. This is an under that I'm willing to take when it comes out. But because of the low-scoring nature of this, the game script fits the dog. And the dog has the better starting pitcher on the mound. Both offenses are pretty equal to each other on the season. Florida State actually better batting average, 316 compared to 310. WRC plus for Tennessee is 172 compared to Florida State's 155. But I think Florida State's definitely live here, and the plus 186 you're currently seeing on FanDuel is just too much value for me to pass up.
So we get our kicks doing the Seminole rap. We are the Seminoles of Florida State. We know we're good, some say we're great. Our goal is simple, best in the land. Rocking to the beat of the Saudi Arabia. On Saturday night, we'll start our stuff to show the nation that knows our tough.
No, look, Florida State's been great. They fucking destroyed UConn.
That first game.
Oh my God. I was like, okay, I can go do something else. It's like, I don't even need, it was like the second inning. It's like 15 to I don't even know.
They covered.
Yeah. I was like, I don't need to watch this game. I think that it's one of the only times I put it on like a monster truck show. You know what I mean? Like, I was just like, oh, there's nothing else on. There's no sport. Let me just put it on this monster truck thing. And then, I sat there and wondered how this became a sport for about an hour, right? Or a spectacle. I don't even know if sport, I guess you're competing, but it's a spectacle. Yeah, Mac, what are you doing here? You going with Saudi Arabia State or are you going with the Vols?
I went back and forth. Initially, I was going to lean to Tennessee just because they kind of fit that profile of Virginia that Noah talked about. Tony Vitello, they've been there. By the way, I love the way that he carries himself in the dugout.
Oh, yeah.
He looks like he's ready to throw down at any moment with anybody. They've been to 3 out of 4 College World Series over the last couple of years. Ironically, the year they didn't go was their best team, and they lost to Notre Dame. And I was like, well, who did they lose to Notre Dame? The manager of Notre Dame was Link Jarrett, who's now the manager of Florida State. So he's familiar with the Vols. I think Florida State's live in this one. I think they're better in game one. And I saw some kinks in that Tennessee bullpen against Evansville. I think they just want to outslug everyone. And I think Florida State can drag this in the mud and have a lower scoring game, like Noah said.
Great nugget, Mac. And I do want to mention Tennessee, plays in a shoebox. We don't know how the Power is going to play in Omaha yet. Yeah. Omaha, one of the biggest fields in college baseball. Tennessee's Lindsey Nelson Stadium is 390 feet to dead center. You're not going to see those balls go out at Omaha, potentially. We don't know how well the Power is going to play here.
And shout out to Weehawk, who I believe is driving up there. He said he goes there every year, so he's going up to Omaha. Shout out to longtime listener Weehawk. Please tag us in some photos there. By the way,
so
don't forget Rocco's Jell-O shot challenge. No, fuck them. Yeah. Dude, I hate your little bitch ass. We're gonna leave the ACC. It's unprofessional what they're doing. You signed the fucking contract. All right. Oh man, don't get me started on them. On them. It's competitive for the disadvantage. Shut the fuck up. You signed the contract. Win games. All right. Win games. All right. They did, and then they didn't let you in. But don't worry about it. Yeah. So I'm going Tennessee. Tennessee's been my squad for a couple years now.
They're entertaining.
They're Ric Flair if they're in college baseball form. You know what I mean? So I know I saw that video of him recently getting kicked out of a bar in Tampa. Let me tell you, I saw a lot of people on Twitter saying that they should have kicked him out. I can't believe that many people are on the wrong side of history, because that bar should be shut the fuck down tomorrow. If I was the mayor of that town, that bar would be done. All right. Anyway, let's let's move along to the next matchup because we got the Pussy Pack.
Oh God, here they are again.
Taking on them Kentucky Wildcats.
They would be on the SEC island, by the way. They would be the ACC island in the SEC bracket.
Well, the Pussy Packs had a nice little story, but they are 0-2 against these Tar Heels. I mean, sorry, did I say Tar Heels? I mean Pirates. And now they are heading to Omaha. And look, Kentucky's used to a big ballpark. All right, you want to jump in this? Pussy Pack, get this bullshit out of here, right? I can't believe NC Nick tweeted out that ever since I called them the Pussy Pack, they went to the Final Fours, which was in January.
Yeah,
they went to the Final Four. At women's and men's basketball, and now they're going here in football. He's like national championship, not gonna happen because the Pussy Pack always fold up. So, my analysis is pretty spot on here. Kentucky is the team. Like they're a fun watch, man. Now, that Oregon State outcome was tragic in many ways, but I'm just buying in to Big Blue Nation. All right, they finally got rid of Calipari. All right, he left. They can start being good at sports again. This is their moment. Let's go. Bieniek, what do you think of this play?
Yeah, so this is a very interesting game here because I've been one of the proponents that have doubted this NC State team throughout the way. I picked them to win their regional, but I had Georgia winning the Super over them. And I received some flack after that, did not go my way. Kentucky here is interesting because I do think they're the better team coming into this. That they are playing in a pretty big ballpark. They should be pretty well suited to play and make a deep run here in Omaha. But I do want to mention that, NC State fits the hot, cold, hot theory that our friends at 11.7 have coined. Teams that make deep postseason runs usually have faced a good bit of adversity throughout the year. I've said this on previous shows, but NC State started the season 11-2. Then they suffered a cold spell in late March, early April, going 10-14.
Who they lose to there? Hold on.
They suffered quite a few injuries.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Continue.
You can't hear anything positive for the Wolfpack. They suffered a couple of injuries during that span, and they certainly still aren't fully healthy. But I mean, this team's on a 16-5 hot streak to finish out the year. Their bullpen is really dang good. They've got three guys in the back end of Jacob Duden, Derek Smith, and Cooper Consiglio that have all really turned it up lately over the last month of the season. The starting pitching is still questionable. And that's why I have to go with Kentucky here. But the knock against Kentucky is it's their first Omaha appearance. And you don't know how the nerves are going to really kind of be for Kentucky. But I do think that Big Blue Nation is going to show up and show out for these guys. And I do think.
Let's
ahead.
Let's talk about that Jell-O contest at Rocco's. Kentucky's destroying that.
Kentucky's winning it.
Yes.
That's my pick. So
minus 500. But anyway, yeah.
Continue. I think this pitching matchup suits Kentucky as well because you look at Sam Heifel over his last 5 starts. It's a 5.06 ERA. Trey Poozer's really turned it up a notch in his last 5 starts. 2.70 ERA on the season. 3.47 for him in 83 innings. 8.6 K per 9. 3 walks per 9. Trey Poozer has been a really good addition for Kentucky this season, and their offense can win in multitudes of ways. They just put pressure on the defense. You look at the series against Oregon State, highlighted by just defensive miscues by Oregon State that allowed Kentucky to win that super regional. I just think they're going to be able to do the kind of same things that they were to get to this point. A lot of people have doubted them. They're being disrespected, putting in the early window against NC State. Both of these are 2 huge fan bases, and they're in the early window. Make that make sense. So I like Kentucky in this game quite a bit, but the minus 174 price is a bit rich for my blood, knowing that NC State's bullpen and their lineup has been hot lately.
The fuck is that? Moneyline Mac, let's make this a clean sweep. What are you doing here?
Oh, I've enjoyed Noah trying to break down. This doesn't make sense. The NC State ACC. I'm like, wow, where have I heard this before? These fucking ACC teams somehow making a run. I was like, I'll bet on NC State against Georgia. that was an easy winner because it doesn't make sense. You can't fight fate. NC State on the money line here. You got the first ever Kentucky game in Omaha, rookie manager in Omaha. And then you got on the other side, the manager's a lifer, Elliot Avant.
Avent. Yeah.
Avent. He's been there since fucking 96. He's been to Omaha. They got the experience. I got to go with the Wolfpack here. I'm not fighting it anymore. I'm just going to go with the flow, at least make some cash off these fucking ACC teams. Give me NC State over Big Blue Nation. Let's go.
And also, I would say to add on to your point about Avent, like for some reason, ESPN's picked up the story and they're trying to push it that Avent might be on his way out. So this could be the 2021 revenge tour after they were like disbanded from the College World Series with all the COVID. And then 2, this could be a retirement tour for Elliot Avent. He goes out in the pinnacle of college baseball. So like NC State's got so many good storylines. They have 7 players from that 2021 team still with them that are all going back to
2021
Omaha.
team.
So,
all right, get the fuck out of here, pussy pack. All right.
What's the odds on DJ Burns showing up in Omaha this week?
They screwed Kentucky fans because they'd be so fucking drunk and hungover from the night before with the early game. They should have had the night game.
They should have.
Yeah, I mean, look, I want to talk a little bit about what's going on at Rocco's in a second. We have one more game left to talk about before we talk about the bracket. But, folks, I want to tell you the College Baseball Experience is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Pick 8 is now live for the NBA Finals. Create entries with up to 8 picks, and Underdog will automatically double flex entries so you can miss up to 2 picks and still win your entry with more picks to make and extra ways to win. The excitement is higher than ever, and the best part is you can win up to 325 times the amount of money you enter. You can now use specials and boost on all flexed entries. Don't miss your chance to try it out before it's gone. So sign up, and when you do, use that promo code TCE SGPN to claim your special pick plus first time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. That's underdogfantasy.com, promo code TCE SGPN. All right, we are back on the College Baseball Experience, and look, I know we got to get to the A&M and Florida game here. Once again, these odds over right now, currently seeing them at FanDuel, but this Jell-O shot challenge, if we had to, we're looking at these teams. Kentucky is like the odds-on favorite. Who do you put at the 2 seed at this thing? It's Tennessee.
So
is it Florida? Is it Florida? Maybe is it A&M?
I had a tweet last night actually on this that I power ranked or just gave out my predictions of the final standings of this. I think NC State's 2. I think a lot of the fan base is really buying into this revenge tour, and it's a passionate fan base. They all traveled out to Phoenix. That could work in 2 different ways, though. It showed you that 1, they're willing to travel, but it also they've already spent thousands of dollars to go out to Phoenix. Will they do it to Omaha too? I don't know. So I like Tennessee, or I like NC State at 2, and then I think Tennessee's got to be 3 because this team is the number 1 overall team in the country, and they'll probably come out and support them a little bit more than they did last year's team because there was a little bit of frustrations with last year's team, even though they made it to Omaha. But they're showing in the Rocco's Jell-O Shot Challenge really disappointed me. So Tennessee, like the fan base is passionate. They should show up, but I don't know if they should be 3rd on my rankings. How about you?
I got them at 2. At 2, but yeah, I understand you look at last season's blemish and you wonder what's going on here, but the state of Florida could be a little underrated too. With Florida and Florida State in there, you know, it could matter a little bit as far as, you know, Florida likes to get fucked up. So
frequent Omaha travel here. Quentin Mills, he says that in 2021, NC State did not travel to the College World Series.
How did A&M travel in 22?
Not tremendously well. But I mean, that team kind of came out of nowhere.
Their alumni has money though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think Florida State. I think Florida State is under the radar here. They got that Saudi Arabian money.
That's what I'm saying. That Saudi money coming in there.
Shots. Get me out of these ACC grant rights.
my thing is like with the Florida State and Texas A&M, both of them, are they going to embrace the Jell-O Shot Challenge?
I can tell you this: I'm not a big Jell-O shot guy myself. Like, to me, just
neither am I.
Give me a regular shot. Yeah, give me a regular shot.
Right, those loafers are fucking pounding those Jell-Os.
That might be, you know what? And the more you think about it, though, like Kentucky's used to having bourbon and shit. You know what I mean? Maybe we're miscalculating this here.
Maybe they're soaking in bourbon for him.
maybe. I mean, I just think, maybe they're going to be offended being like that foo-foo stuff. But Stanford never did good in these things either. So I don't know. It's kind of a mind fuck. When
Stanford didn't travel though.
They've never traveled.
LSU killed everybody because they'll drink freaking piss. They
Anything. Well, dude, you go to I've tailgated in Baton Rouge, but also in New Orleans, they give you all these. Dude, I look back at my photos on in New Orleans. I don't remember. I'm holding a 10-foot fucking drink that's blue, and I'm like, what? You know what I mean? So they're used to just having strange shit in your drink. Just drink it. That's why they dominate that thing. But I think Kentucky and Tennessee, and maybe this is why Tennessee was bad last year, is that's kind of a whiskey state. You got Jack Daniels down there too, so maybe they look at it like, no, I don't need that stuff. And then you start thinking the Pussy Pack could do that, because I'll be honest, my history with Jell-O shots, normally it was like a girl in a college campus at a dorm party making Jell-O shots. That screams Pussy Pack. And that is why NC State could win this thing.
If the Mountaineers were in it, even though we don't drink Jell-O shots, it would have been a challenge to beat. We would have taken it personally to win this.
Every Mountaineer fan would have been 20 drinks deep. It's like, all right, I'm doing this. I don't like this. I don't like this shit, but I'm doing it. I'm doing it just to get our name higher up on that board. I guarantee you that's what would have happened.
Pride.
Yeah.
Pride. We might not win on the field, but we're going to win in the bar.
Yeah.
Dalton in the chat says the owner of Raising Cane's bought thousands of shots at once for every. That's what I'm saying. The A&M alumni, A&M's alums, if they did do it, it'd be over.
They would have murdered the record without what's his name? I wrote an article on it last year. They would have murdered the record without him, but he bought the 5,000 shots to just push him over initially.
Yeah.
So,
anyway, it's going to be fascinating to watch. All right. Final game that we have going here is the Gators plus 186 on the money line, taking on the Texas A&M Aggies. Texas A&M minus 245. I'm going to use the same logic with North Carolina here. A&M, that Oregon game, that was magical, but that was, you were pressed. I think Florida is hot right now. All right. I'm on these Gators, Gator. And look, I have a thing. I don't think you can be good at football and basketball and baseball at the same time. Florida's going to be horrible, I think, this year. That is why they are in football. That is why I think they're going to kick ass in baseball here. So jump on over and take that. That's a juicy little dog there. Plus 186. Bieniek, I know you're a Florida fan, so tell me why I'm a fucking genius.
I've doubted this team every step of the way. So that's why you're a genius. I faded them in the Stillwater Regional. I faded them in Clemson. And I'm going to do it here again. With Ryan Prager on the mound, I don't see the possibility for Florida winning this one.
Disloyal fool ass bitch made punk.
I'm sorry.
Prager, you're good. Prager did not throw well in his last appearance. He only got through 1.2 innings. I just think you're going to see a pretty energized Prager come out here, especially because he now knows that without Cedillo, this starting rotation was already viewed as the big hole for this Texas A&M team, anchored by Prager. And Prager's got to get him into the winner's bracket, or else Texas A&M may flounder in Omaha this season. And if you want to talk about the experience angle, Florida has the experience. They were in the national championship in the finals last season. They were the runner-up. I just think the pitching matchup here favors the Aggies. You look at Prager over the year, he's been one of the best pitchers in the SEC. 84.2 innings on the season, 3.21 ERA, 12.2 strikeouts per 9, 2 walks per 9. And Peterson has been hot recently. His last couple of starts have been pretty dang good. But I just think the freshman in Omaha is going to be a little bit too much for him. I think Texas A&M's lineup is able to still pounce even without Braden Montgomery. They were putting up 15 runs. They were patient against Oregon, a very good pitching team that Oregon was. But I think this lineup 1 through 9 is able to really pound the ball. And Bluebell Park isn't really a hitter's park either. It's a big park, which leads me to believe that their power might be able to transition into Omaha a little bit here. But overall, give me the stacked lineup against the freshman starting pitcher for Florida. I think Texas A&M wins this one, and I think this is a solid parlay piece. This ended up like, if you want to, get in on Tennessee later on in the week, Texas A&M, Tennessee would be a nice parlay, but I would overall go with Texas A&M, North Carolina for a first round opening round parlay here.
I can't talk to this son of a bitch. I can't talk to that son of a bitch. I really can't. I can't.
Suit yourself, buddy. All right, because the Gators are hot. All right, and I knew you were a Florida fan. So in the second inning, when you're wearing all your Florida gear, doing fucking cartwheels in your fucking house. All right. Don't you text me. Don't you text me. Mac, what are you doing here?
I do have the preseason national championship future on the Gators too. They were my team.
He brings that up now, right? What are you doing, Mac?
I rode NC State all weekend. I rode Florida all weekend. I'm gonna ride the momentum, man. This is Syracuse basketball, but on the diamond. Fucking had no business getting in the dance. What were they, 500? And they let him in. And once they let him in, that's why seeding matters for when we get to March Madness next year. They should not even have been in the dance. But the team that never deserves to get there always goes on a run.
And Sankey's gonna bring it up.
The Jack Caglione, dude, that guy, you can't pitch to him. You got to
he's a
walk
stud
every time.
Yeah.
And I think who was it? It was Braden Montgomery. He's out for the Omaha, correct, Noah?
Yeah, he broke his ankle.
I think that's a big blow. I think they were able to get over, win one for their guy. But I really wasn't that impressed with A&M. I think it was more about Oregon kind of just imploding. I'm going to ride the Florida momentum. And like Noah said, Kevin O'Sullivan, he's been there, done that. He's won a national championship. He went there last year. I'll take the experienced manager. Give me the Gators.
I mean, he's Mr. Omaha. He's been here. I think the stat is 9 times in his 17 years at Florida. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's where the pros go after, everyone goes to Rocco's for the Jell-O shots. You're 2 bars away. Go to O'Sullivan's for the whiskey shots. All right. So jump up on that. Yeah, exactly. All right. Look,
that he should open a bar if he hasn't already on campus in Gainesville. He should open an O'Sullivan.
O'Sullivan's right there. Let's go. I want 3%. So give me that. Look, folks, I want to tell you that the college baseball experience is brought to you by Rhythm. Feel the rhythm, feel the ride. It's bobsled. No, it's college baseball time. Look, if you're betting on NBA player props, then you need to download Rhythm. That's RITHMM. Rhythm gives you a menu of the best player props for every single NBA playoff game, making it easy to go through and find the best props to put your money on in a matter of seconds. And Rhythm's predictions are backed by over 3 years of data and a whole team of data scientists and quants. That whole team of data scientists and quants that focus on fine-tuning their algorithm to give you the best shot at winning. Are you kidding me? That's incredible. That's what I want to do in my life. I want to be a fucking data scientist and quant. I want to be a quant. Rhythm pairs its predictions with player prop graphs, because who doesn't love a graph to make you feel more confident in anything, really. From superstars to bench players, Rhythm finds the best player prop lines, all backed by AI data without you needing to endlessly scroll through some sports book. So what are you doing, folks? Claim your free 7-day trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. We're also brought to you by Game Time. Look, Game Time is now an authorized ticket marketplace of the MLB. That is Major League Baseball, folks. And, Game Time makes tickets, getting tickets even faster and easier than pretty much anything else on the face of the planet. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to the first pitch. All right. And with killer last minute deals, all in prices, views from your seat, and the lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. And I'm not talking about, the Oakland Coliseum or down there at the Miami Marlins or something where it looks like one of my comedy shows with 4 people there. I'm talking about there's some tough games to get into. I go to a Dodger game sometimes. It's just expensive. So you can find some really killer deals with Game Time. So what are you doing? Take the guesswork out of buying those tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use that promo code CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Once again, create that account, redeeming code CFBX for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. I was watching a White Sox game the other day when I really thought I counted 11 people.
Oh, at
11.
the game?
Yeah. I was
Those
like,
crowds are awful. Oh my
dude,
God.
what the hell's going on here? I mean, I know they're terrible, but
Yeah,
they are really bad.
Well, they that's why I don't understand these owners. At what point do you just say tickets are $1? Come in.
Yeah.
I would do that just to make it packed and look
because
good.
they're still going to go and get concessions too.
Yeah, exactly. It costs like $70 for a beer at these fucking games. So you might as well just say, hey, come in, everyone in for $1. All right. But I don't understand that. No one does it. But anyway, where are we at with this? We gotta talk bracket here, right?
Yep.
So do you want to walk people through that or what? How do you want to do this?
Yeah, I'll do my bracket first. That way you guys can kind of know if you need a refresher how we're doing it. But so starting to the top left, or the bracket 1, I will say I'll do bracket 1 and then bracket 2 for me personally. So I have Tennessee winning against Florida State, but I love Florida State at that value. So that was my bet for game 1, but I think Tennessee ends up winning that game. I also have North Carolina over Virginia. So then your losers bracket here, the game between Florida State, Virginia. I think it would be Carson Dorsey against Woolfolk. And I would be looking for something around like a minus 130 on either side. So if it's greater than plus 130 for Virginia or less than minus 130 for Florida State, I would be playing either one of those sides here. But for the bracket, I think Florida State moves on. Virginia goes 0-2 here once again in Omaha. Kudos to them getting there, but I just don't think they have the pitching to really do damage in this year's tournament. In the winner's bracket of bracket 1, that game is Tennessee and North Carolina for me. I think the pitching matchup actually favors North Carolina. Whether they go with Sprague or DeCaro, the other one will pitch in the second game here in the winner's bracket. Beam hasn't been as sharp recently. He's been a fade for me recently against Indiana, against Evansville in the SEC tournament late in the regular season. He just hasn't pitched as well. So I like North Carolina to win that game. Their offense is one of the best here in Omaha as well. So I like North Carolina to be 2-0. Tennessee 1-1 meets up with Florida State once again. And this is where Florida State kind of runs out of starting pitching. They're going to have to go with probably Connor Whitaker against Tennessee's Xander Sechrist. I think that's a huge advantage for Tennessee in their lineup going up against the weaker starting pitcher. So I think Tennessee wins that game. Then they go back into the bracket pool final against North Carolina, where I think Tennessee is able to win the first game. North Carolina is ultimately going to come out. I have North Carolina playing for the championship for me personally. The bracket 1 price for North Carolina win it is plus 280. Tennessee is plus 100. The Tar Heels are really interesting for me in that. In bracket 2, I have A&M beating Florida. I have Kentucky beating NC State. So game 2 in the losers bracket here, it would be Jack Caglione on the mound for Florida up against Dom Fritton. Caglione has been a guy that has had a rough recent stretch on the mound for Florida, and I've been fading him a little bit recently, and the bullpen for Florida hasn't been great. So I think the pitching could be in question for Florida here. NC State with the good bullpen and the solid lineup that's been hitting really well up and down. I like NC State to make a little bit of run out of the losers bracket here. So I'll start them off with winning against the Gators. Texas A&M, I think, is really questionable with the starting rotation right now. With Shane Sadeo going down with an arm injury. We don't know if he'll be ready and able to pitch in the College World Series this year. And Mason Moore has been incredible in the postseason in his career with Kentucky. I think the Wildcats are able to beat Texas A&M. They'll start off 2-0 in bracket 2 for me. Texas A&M goes down in the losers bracket. And again, I think their bullpen is solid, but they don't have a very good starting pitcher available for this game either. Whereas NC State's Logan Whitaker, he missed some time in the middle of the year with an illness. He lost 30 pounds It's a tremendous comeback story for him this season. He's pitched great since coming back from that illness, and he's also one of those 7 guys that was on the 2021 College World Series team. I think NC State and their lineup's able to, get on top of Texas A&M early in this game, and they'll be able to keep the lead throughout. NC State, I have coming through the losers bracket to play Kentucky in the bracket 2 final in here, where I think it's a real toss-up because I hadn't really gotten this far into brainstorming kind of the matchups here. I'm going to stick with Kentucky just because they're 2-0. They'll have 2 chances to win there. I think my final is North Carolina, Kentucky. Kentucky's plus 250 to come out of the pool in bracket 2. NC State's plus 500. And I'll keep it there. North Carolina, Kentucky. We'll get to our finals picks coming up at the end after you guys kind of go through your bracket.
Yeah, wow. Going with the blue blood college basketball championship there. But all right, well, yeah, and I can't help. I know the chat was just talking about Florida at plus 1,500. It's worth just sprinkling a little bit just because we've seen this before. But all right, well, look, Carolina, Virginia. I told you what I got. I got the Wahoos winning that they square off against Tennessee after Tennessee takes down Florida State. The losers bracket has Carolina and Florida State. I do have Carolina taking down Florida State there. Between Virginia and Tennessee, I got the Vols going on to take on the Tar Heels, and from there I'm going chalk. Tennessee takes down Carolina. In bracket 2, I have the Pussy Pack losing to Kentucky and taking on the Florida Gators. Kentucky taking on Florida, that is. And at that point, I have the Gators. Like I said, they're hot. Unfortunately, I love this Kentucky story, but I just think that the bats are hot. They've been there before. And A&M would be playing in the Pussy Pack. Of course, A&M wins. Pussy Pack goes home like the clowns they are. And that sets up then A&M against the Gators yet again, which is tough, but I think the Gators get them. So I got Florida and Tennessee, doing the damn thing. So, yeah, Mac.
So I had all dogs in the first matchups of Virginia and Florida State advancing. So that means in my losers bracket, I had Tennessee and North Carolina, which was a tough one. I went with Tennessee to bounce North Carolina. So I actually had Carolina 2 and done. Even though, I mean, that's what happens when it's Tennessee and Carolina in the losers bracket. So that created a winners bracket game of Virginia and Florida State. I had Florida State winning that. So Florida State getting to the winners bracket final. I had Tennessee knocking out Virginia. So then I had Florida State and Tennessee rematching. I have Florida State getting to the final, and out of that region, the top region. In the other region, had NC State and Florida pulling the upsets, which set up Kentucky and Texas A&M. I got Kentucky bouncing A&M, so I had A&M 2 and done. Then I had Florida getting it done over NC State, so that created a losers bracket rematch of NC State and Kentucky. Got Kentucky getting their revenge on NC State, comes to an end there. And then I had Florida over Kentucky in the bottom half, so I got Florida State, Florida for the national championship. There you go.
Sunshine State showdown. Yeah, I mean, that would be pretty cool.
I have Florida going 2 in barbecue, and you guys have the Gators in the finals.
I love the Gators.
Not only the finals, I got them winning the whole fucking thing. I think they upset the Tennessee Volunteers, and then sign me up for watching every bit of that. I think that you sprinkle that Gators plus 1,500. Let's go.
I'm going to go with North Carolina over Kentucky for my national champion here.
Hubert Davis.
UNC.
Yeah.
UNC, I'm seeing as plus 750, your best price out there currently on FanDuel to win it all. So that would be my suggestion. Kentucky's plus 450 for what it's worth on FanDuel, plus 500 on Bet Rivers and DraftKings. So yeah, that I have North Carolina winning it all. Mac, how about you?
Went back and forth on this one. It's year number 2, the Link Jarrett era. Give me the Seminoles to get it done in Omaha.
Saudi
get it
Arabia
done over the
State.
Gators.
You filthy.
Saudi Arabia, baby, they're gonna get out of the ACC, and this is their push. And then they're getting back for not getting into that college football playoff. Give me the Seminoles
To get it done. Yeah, there we go.
9-1 on FanDuel and Bet Rivers in front of me currently.
9-1.
For Florida State.
Florida's 12-1. Or yeah.
Bieniek, are you gonna show up to Omaha? How far is that from you?
It's 10 hours. I'm not gonna make the drive this year.
Because Weehawk is in the chat now. We were talking about you earlier, Weehawk. I know you're going to Omaha. He asked who's going to Omaha. Man, I got a newborn. I can't even go to Ross right now. You know what I mean? Like I can't go to the supermarket. So
you guys both have SEC winning it. I have ACC winning it. I think
ACC.
that. Oh, you have Florida State.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
ACC's plus 190 to have the conference of the prop is called Conference of Champions on FanDuel. ACC's plus 190 to have the national champion. SEC's minus 260.
I don't even have them playing for it. Yeah. Sorry, Pussy Pack. Well, do you like that bet though? I mean, you guys jump in on that if you're taking an ACC team.
I don't know if I love it. I do think Tennessee. I think a lot of ACC fans are very scared that their pool is joined by Tennessee. That Tennessee wanted to come and crash the ACC party. I think they're very scared that they might not even get a single representative in the finals still. And they've only had one national champion since like 1958 or something like that. So it's a crazy drought that the ACC is attempting to break here.
Well, I don't get break, man.
Personally, I would rather just take my bet. I think North Carolina and NC State have the best chances of winning it all. I would just rather just sprinkle on those two teams.
There we go. And look, Weehawk, Jeff Sharp, longtime listener, Jeff Sharp is going to be there. You guys got to hit each other up. Go do some, go have a drink. I'm not going to demand a Jell-O shot. But I will say this. If you go to Rocco's, Weehawk, get a little SGP merch in there. Take a little photo for us. If not, it's all good. But if you're at the game last year at the game, he did share SGP, the SGP hat with like a beer at the ballpark. Yep. I need to be there, but I'm there in spirit. All right, at O'Sullivan's though, because
it's on the bucket list for sure to get out there. But for college kids still paying off student loans, it's tough. So I needed to be media credentialed to be able to pull that off, but unfortunately, I won't be able to this year at least.
Yeah, who's their new NCAA president again? It's not Charlie Baker.
I don't know.
It's like
I don't know.
He sucks. He's fucking horrible. And anyway, let me ask you this, guys, before we get out of here. What is the game out of all four games we covered? What's the one? Round? Yeah, in the first round. What's the one you feel best about? Like, let's do a lock and a dog. Let's do a lock and a dog. How about that? Because to me, the lock.
Give that all dogs.
Oh well, do a parlay then. Do a parlay. How about that?
There you go. I can lock up a dog.
Yeah, my lock is I believe Kentucky's going to get it done at minus 174. So lock it up against the Pussy Pack. My dog. Look, I took Virginia, but I also took Florida. I'm taking Florida plus 186 on the money line. It's juicy over there. Get over there. Get some of that juicy fruit. You know, Bieniek, what are you locking up? What's your top dog?
I love the Florida State price against Tennessee at plus 186. I think they've got a real live chance to beat Tennessee there with their ace Jamie Arnold on the mound. That's a very solid dog. For my lock, I'm gonna wait for a better price, but I think Kentucky beats NC State in game one here.
Mac.
For my lock, give me NC State. Ride the momentum. They're going to get it done again. Get this big Blue Nation shit out of here. Give me the Kentucky Wildcats. All right. Give me the NC State Wolfpack over the Kentucky Wildcats. They're playing with magic. They got the experience on the manager side, team-wise. For my big dog, let's go. Do I want to go? Let's go Seminoles over Tennessee. Get the Rocky Top. They're not the same team away from that little ballpark, that little league park. It's all about the Seminoles. Fucking Friday night.
Are they fucking playing T-ball? What the fuck's going on?
Let's go, baby. Chop on Mike Martin. Do it for Mike Martin. Yeah, he
Amen.
didn't win one since
Amen.
1991. Though. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. But yeah, that's the storyline for Florida State.
That's a good storyline, man. That's a good storyline. Despite
they passed away this offseason in January, and so Link Jarrett, the head coach of Florida State, they had a 44-year in a row NCAA tournament appearance streak, and it snapped last year. This year they were back in the NCAA tournament, and now they're in the College World Series.
Now they're going to win,
and they have a good shot to win it all.
There we go. It's a great storyline. Folks, we are the College Baseball Experience. Give Noah Bieniek a follow on Twitter at NoahB77_ because he's the goddamn heart and soul of this show. Moneyline Mac, he is dominating that life, as I mentioned. He got married in fucking Cancun. And have you checked the College Basketball Experience out? Because he's been just releasing content left and right. He's also got the Big 12 Experience. Subscribe as they already went. What's up?
No, go ahead. Finish it up. I thought you were done real quick.
No. As they've been going through, I know they just did like the top non-con games right there. Check it out. Weehawk, I know you're a Kansas Jayhawk fan. Go check that out. Give Moneyline Mac a follow on Twitter at Moneyline_Mac. Also check out the Ryan and Rush show. What's up, Noah?
So tonight I'll be on VSiN talking about the College World Series. I'll be on VSiN a couple of times, I think, leading up to the Friday games. But also check out my article on sportsgamblingpodcast.com. That'll come out in the morning. A lot more in depth on the pitching previews for your starting pitchers that you'll see, and also just more in depth on some lineups and some stats and analysis on that point of stuff. So yeah, check out the article that I'll have out in the morning.
There we go. Sportsgamblingpodcast.com. Once again, Noah Bieniek at NoahB77_ subscribe to the college. And remember, folks, you can watch the show, youtube.com/the college experience.
Also, I forgot. Daily picks episodes throughout the College World Series. I'll have guests on sparingly throughout the entire thing.
There we fucking go. I'm on Twitter at TheColbyD. The college experience is on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. Also, make sure you check out Mac and Rob Donaldson are about to go live on the College Basketball Experience. Shout out to Rob Donaldson. He's the fucking man. You guys going to be talking Danny Hurley and all the college basketball. You know, these days, man, whether it's college baseball, whether it's college football, whether it's college basketball, there is no off season. All this news left and right. Yeah, but check out the College Football Experience as well. We're breaking down all 134 college football teams with a solo podcast for each and every single team in the land. You're a Tennessee fan, you're a Florida fan, you're an NC State fan. Don't worry, we got you covered. Go listen to all that good stuff. And also check out the Stadium Heads podcast. Myself and Michael Barker basically going through the history of college football and why it's the greatest fucking thing to ever hit planet Earth. Go check out. Look, we talk the history of the game, the stadiums, why it's so great, and why the NFL sucks with all their shitty stadiums. Check it all out. Stadium Heads podcast, as well as the FCS College Football Experience. Check out the Sports Gambling Podcast. Check out Bieniek on VSiN and all that good stuff. Until next time, folks, this is the College Baseball Experience. Serving high heat. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here. Run and shoot. Ease his pain. Run and shoot. We can really run and shoot.